Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The market has been choppy, however, not much of trends that we have seen over the last couple of weeks. It has slowed down. We are still in corrections. As I always say, when the market goes into correction, it's giving us an opportunity for the next move higher. Right, so let's have a look here. Something very interesting before we get started. So I was looking at the coronavirus stats. I know this is a Forex webinar, by the way. I have to emphasize that. It is a Forex and cryptocurrency webinar. So right after this, if you're only interested in the cryptocurrencies, you can check out the crypto video, which will be coming up right after this. So I'm looking at the coronavirus stats. So naturally, I will look into my country, and I was looking at the caps because the technicals tell a lot. So I'm just doing this because we work with the technicals, we work with the charts. So I'm looking at this chart here, just something that interesting that I was looking at. So I was trying to analyze this curve, and I'm looking at this wave, and there is projections and there is indications that we are going to be in the third wave. So this was the first wave, this was the second wave, and the indications are that towards the Easter holidays, we are going to have a third wave. Now, what does that mean for the technical? So this is how I look at this. So when I look at the charts, I'm always looking for waves. So this is what I saw. It may not be accurate, but this is what I saw. So I was thinking that this is what happened here. So we have been in this corrective structure here. So we've got this move here to the upside with the first wave. Let me make a visible color here. Let's use purple. So we've got this first wave. We've got this move to the downside. We've got a move to the upside. And then this is the first and the second wave. So if we do get the third wave, which is presumed to be the most severe one and higher than the previous two waves, so we may get something like this. And if we do get something like this, that means we're going to have a curve like this. So we assume that after the third wave, then this pandemic is going to be over. So this means goes all the way down to zero. We don't have anything anymore. So if we're reading this chart, this is what I'm going to see here. So we're going to have a look at something like this. So this is the complex correction here. This will be a complex correction here. Let's use the red color, and we're going to have something like this. What structure will we have here? Let's have a look here. So this will be an ABC corrective structure. Let's use this in purple. So this will be an ABC corrective structure. I hope you guys like this chart. So we are expecting a rise here. And I'll tell you why we're expecting a rise in South Africa. So this is an ABC corrective structure here. So this is an ABC corrective structure, and the correction will be over and we will be done. So whatever move that has started the move, wherever this virus came from, we're going to have this correction, and that's going to be the end of the move. Right, but that is not accurate. We're just looking at the charts, but it does happen. So we are looking at this to make a third wave. It is almost imminent. If you look at other countries, exactly the same thing happened last year. Countries like Italy, Spain were leading in terms of the numbers. So it's happening exactly the same way it has happened last time. If you just look at Italy here quickly, it's a very nice one. So you can see that Italy is already on the third wave. So South Africa, we're not on the third wave yet. Even last year, the first wave started earlier than we did here in South Africa. So be careful, guys. Stay safe. Protect yourselves until this whole thing is over. And most of the countries have already started with vaccinations. Hopefully that's gonna solve the problem. But let's get back to our technicals, to what we know best, and that is the technical chart. So let's have a look at that. Let's get started. We are going to start with the US dollar pairs. Let's have a look at it. So you see the technicals apply anyway. It will be very interesting to see that structure actually plays out even on those COVID charts. Thank you so much, Pete. Let's get started with the DXY. Let's have a look here. So a couple of weeks back, I showed you a sneak preview into our live trading room. I think, let me just show you. So if you'd like to contact us first, I got carried away with the coronavirus test there. So if you'd like to contact us, you can just go to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube quickly. Under the description of all the videos, Under the description of all our videos, you will find our contact details. So our next course is still scheduled for the 5th of April. If you like to join the next course, you can purchase the course on the website. You'll find the details under the description of all the videos. That's where you'll find our website link there. So that's where you'll find the website link. So you can get all the information there about the course. The interesting thing about this, if you purchase, you're going to get the full recording immediately. Then you can start watching the course. So when you actually have the live one in April, you've already watched the course, and then you can engage, you can ask questions. Right. So we also have what is most important, I think that helps most traders, is that we've got a live trading room every single day, Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. GMT during the London session, where we look at specific trade setups. What I'm doing here is market overview for the week, but during the live trading room, we are looking for specific setups. We're looking for trade setups. So a couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back, I showed you a sneak preview into our live trading room and how we actually look at the market. And I showed you a Euro US dollar chart, but I'm going to start with the DXY. It is just the inverse of the Euro US dollar chart. This is what I showed you. So we were having a bounce here. We're getting a bounce here. Now, I also want to refer you to how to trade WXY or WXYXZ like a pro video on my YouTube channel. Go and search it on my channel. It will really assist you. It's a free video. You can find it freely available on YouTube. Posted over 3 or 4 years back. It's still valid even today. So we were looking for this bounce to come here and reverse here from the blue box. And the market has done that so far. All those moves that we focused at have played out, and now we have reversed from this blue box. Let's show this here. So we've reversed from the blue box. I've just taken off the fibs for now, so don't want to see that now. You've already seen how we've got that blue box there. So we are looking for this to continue to the downside. Is the structure that we have currently confirming accordingly? Are we going to see more downside? Let's have a look at the DXY closely. Let's have a look here on the 4 hour. If you look at this structure, let's switch off here. This actually looks like it's going down. 1, 2, and the 3. And with these, whenever you see me drawing these lines, they are not forced. There are clear waves within these structures. For example, there's something that most of you will not see. If you look at this here, that is a corrective structure. This whole thing is a B wave. So your B wave is like this. So your A, B, C. Now that B wave is the bigger structure. Bit of education here. It's actually not a B wave. That one is actually a WXY structure. There's a difference between the B and the X. So this one is a WXY structure. So we expect to move to the downside. Now the question will be, is this move going to go all the way to the downside as we have expected, or is it just going to give us a double correction and continue to the upside? Let's have a look at the bigger structure and see here. So what is the expectation here? So the expectation was that we were going to have this WX. This was a perfect WXY structure, and we're going to look for this one to come down here. So this was a corrective structure. Why did we look at this as a corrective structure? Because there was a big move coming down here from the upside. So I'll go up 1 degree higher so you can see. So we're looking for this to come to the downside. We are still looking for that. We're still looking for this in the next coming week. And this deep correction that we're seeing here on the daily comes from this. This is something that you guys don't see here because we don't do that during this weekly outlook. So I'm just showing you the last swing on the chart. So this is where this is coming from. And this is why we're looking at this as a correction, and we're looking for this to continue to the downside. Now, we've also got all these charts here. Let's have a look here. The expectation here on the DXY. I want you to see this. I'm going to a bit more detail on this because this is important. So the DXY 4 hour, that is the structure. So we're expecting continuation to the downside on the DXY here. Okay. Obviously, we are mindful of the fact that these can just make a 3-wave pullback, but we will see that because we have got the indicator that tells us whether this is going to go all the way or not. Right, so that is what we are looking for. That is the structure. So these charts are available for members. You can go in at any time on the website and have a look at that structures. Now let's have a look at Euro US dollar. You can see what the DXY is doing. Let's have a look at Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar is not as clear as the DXY. Euro US dollar is not as clear as the DXY, so we are still expecting the euro to do this, but this structure here in the lower degree on the 4-hour is not as clear as the DXY. But because the DXY is clearer, we're going to follow the DXY structure, and we're going to expect the euro to make a reversal from current levels. So this is how we're going to see the euro. Although the structure is not perfect, we're going to see the euro as follows, and we're going to expect a move to the upside. Just like the DXY, we cannot determine whether this is just going to be a three-way pullback and we're going to have one more down before we push to the upside. But for now, what we can see is that we're going to make at least a bit of a push to the upside around these levels on Euro US dollar. So be careful, do not rush into these trades. It's not safe because we are not seeing bigger moves. We are correcting, as you can see, with the pound US dollar as well. We are going pretty much sideways. What do we expect here? Just this correction to complete, maybe one more down here, and then we look for more upside. But this, when I do this, doesn't mean that it's just going to be cancelled. So what I'm doing here is, you're supposed to see a clear corrective structure here. What structure am I seeing right now? Let's have a look here. Let's take a closer look. So we've made a move up here. Let's use a different color. This is yellow. We are looking at this 3 down, 3 up. We could have this one here. So with this, we could see another move to the upside. And as you can see, I'm not focusing big moves, okay? I trade long-term, medium to long-term, so I do not like these short moves. So I want big moves like this. So for me, this is a short move. For somebody who trades short-term, who can take advantage of this and you've got a strategy for it, you can actually look to take this. But I've got a specific strategy that tells me whether I can take this trade or not, and I follow those rules religiously. So with the pound US dollar, we may be getting something like this before we make a move to the upside. Remember the target that I've been talking about on pound US dollar, we're still looking for this to go all the way up to 144. And this structure here could be a WXY corrective structure before we make a move to the upside. And that's how we're going to be looking at pound. So be careful with pound. It is still going sideways. It's not time for a trade as yet. The structures are not matured enough right now. Right, US dollar chief. Exactly similar to the DXY, as you can see here. We've made a move to the downside. We've made this correction. We're expecting this in the next coming sessions. Okay, so whether this is also going to go all the way to the downside, we'll still have to determine that. So this could make a structure like this and we make one more move to the upside. But we're not worried about that for now. We just want to see the next immediate move because we've got enough data for the next immediate move on US dollar chief. Let's see how that plays out. US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD, you can see a bounce here, and I've been saying for months that you do not buy US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, you simply look for, every time you get a push to the upside, you expect a move to the downside. Look for a setup to the downside. I have been saying that for months. If you look at all videos from last year, I have been saying you do not buy US dollar CAD, look for sell setups, and this is because of this. I want you to have a look at this. Let's have a look at the daily and also look at the structure on the website here. Don't forget to check out our social pages on Facebook. You'll find the link also under the description of all the videos. So we post all the charts before and after for all our trade setups. So you may find it interesting to look at that as well. Also, we will be posting up a chart of the week on the website. So do visit our website, sign up on the website, and we will post something up there for you to have a look at when you visit our website. So let's have a look at US dollar CAD, the daily chart. Look at that. So this is why we have not been looking to buy US dollar CAD, not once over the last year, because we're looking at these bigger structures. This is the structure that you guys don't see. But if you've been following closely, you would have seen that I've shown this a couple of months back. While this was coming down, we're looking for this to come to the downside. This is a simple ABC flat correction in the higher degree on the daily here, as you can see. Right, so that is US dollar CAD. So that is the structure on US dollar CAD. So these bounces, we still expect them to be continuations continuation patterns to the downside. We're looking for this to continue to the downside. Even though we may get a bounce here at some point, for now, we're still looking for downside. We are bearish US dollar CAD. Let's look at Audi US dollar. Let's go to the 4 hour, back to the 4 hour. So we've made 3 waves to the downside on Audi US dollar. We've been expecting this one to continue to the upside. Instead, we have only got a corrective structure. It has gone up correctively with these 3 waves. So we've made 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 up. We could get this one to come down here to this level. Bounce here, we get a deeper corrective structure. This will be a decent one for this to make a move to the upside. And this will be a corrective structure as follows. And we'll be looking for this. So for now, we can be looking for our next move to the downside. So as you can see again, because of the nature of the market currently, we've just ended all these big moves that we've had. We've been in corrective structure for the last 2 weeks or so. Now we are sideways. That's why you can see even the focus for this week, we're only just focusing the next move lower. We're not expecting big moves. We're expecting just the corrective structures to be playing out. So possible move to the downside around this level, a bounce, and then downside here. So we'll be tracking these structures to see when they are complete so that we can get the next move, whether it's higher or lower. All right, so that is Audi US dollar, New Zealand US dollar. Will be exactly the same structure as you can see. It's also made 3 waves. Has made 3 waves. Are we going to see this one come down here as well? Make a move down here, bounce downside before we go. So short-term bearish moves, so we're expecting these deeper pullbacks. So also something that you don't see where these deeper pullbacks and why we're expecting them is because of this. Let's go to the daily so you can see this clearly. This is why. So we've made a 3-wave pullback here. It's an ABC corrective structure here. It's 3 waves here. Looks like we've completed the 3 waves, and we're going to see this one give us a deeper corrective structure as well. So that's the expectation here. So we're expecting this one to give us a pullback. So deeper pullback, that's the expectation on Audi US dollar and most of the pairs. US dollar ZAR. Let's have a look at US dollar ZAR. I'm going to go first to the daily on US dollar ZAR. Right, so this is what we looked at on US dollar ZAR, WXYXZ, before we make a move to the upside. Okay, so we have made this bounce. If you remember, and if you've been watching the videos, we've been saying that this move coming down here will bounce, we will get one more down, and then we're going to get a resumption of the move to the upside. Although I'm focusing that this is going to go all the way, this may not go all the way at once. We may just see this one come back about 50% and we make another corrective structure as follows. But for now, the next immediate move is for this to break lower here. One is to break lower like this and then move to the upside. So this is making a 11 string sequence here, and then we'll be looking for this to make a move to the upside. I've shown, I can't remember if it was during the live trading room or if it was here, where I've shown a similar structure that has been playing out exactly around the same period, but in 2016. Let's have a look here. We've got a similar structure here, WX, Y, X. No, it's not, that's not the correct structure. This one actually looks like a 3-wave structure here. So similarly, as you can see, we've got this 3 waves corrective structure here. Last bit of a move, and then we resume with a move to the upside. We're expecting the same thing at these levels. Okay, that is what we're expecting on US dollar ZAR. Let's go to the pound pairs. Now, incidentally, I'm already on the daily, and you see, if you look at the lower degree on pound yen, you'll see that there's a deeper pullback, and naturally it should happen. Remember, our overall target here, we're still expecting this to go all the way up to 156. Has this now made a flat correction, and are we going to see this push much higher? So look at this as a continuation pattern, but let's have a look first on the higher degree, what we are seeing here. Why are we expecting upside, much more upside on the pound yen? Let's go to the weekly. I have shown this a couple of times. This is the reason why. We're expecting pound to come around this level with these three waves, all the way up here. So we're very close. We've been saying that from right here at the bottom. So we're looking for this. Now we're getting a bit of a pullback here. What is that structure? Let's have a look here in the lower degree. So if you're looking on the weekly here, you will see that we've got what looks like a 1, 2. We've got this one as another 1, 2. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3. So these 4 here, the pullback that we may get here will only be of the lower degree, and we'll still expect this to give us another correction and all the way up until we get to this level. We may break this, we may break that even a bit more. I'm not expecting just to take it, so we may even break it a bit higher before we get the reversal there. Right, so for now, we're not worried about the reversal. We can see that all indications are for upside. The trend is still intact to the upside. We can see the pullback, but we know what the trend is doing. The trend is upside. So look for upside on pound yen. Any trade set up for upside, it's an opportunity to, any pullback is an opportunity to ride onto the trend. This looks a bit very good, and then we'll be looking for this one here. We actually saw this correction on during the live trading room, and that this was going to make a push to the upside, but it was not aggressive enough. Even the even the indicator was not convincing for us to get involved for the next leg higher. And this is exactly why we've got this ABC corrective structure here, and we'll be looking for upside. That is pound yen, US dollar yen. Expected pullback is already in play. That pullback could play out as follows: 1, 2, 3. So expect this one to be a little bit deeper. This one to be a flat corrective structure here, and we expect more upside on US dollar yen. Euro yen. Euro yen, could it be giving us this running flat correction here, where we're going to get this one to come around these levels and then upside? But the tricky thing about the running flat is that it does not give you a warning. It does not have to come all the way down here. Yes, if it makes an expanding flat, we can come down here, break the low as well as we've done here. We've broken the high, we can break the low, and we get an expanding flat. That's fine. But a running flat can actually turn at current levels. This structure is a running flat as it is. So we can turn from current levels, and there's a possibility that because the rest of the yen pairs look to be upside, euro may also push up higher, and we will look at this one as a continuation pattern to the upside. Okay, so let's see how this is going to play out. You don't want to get involved in that. The structure is not clear as yet. Chief yen. So chief yen, as much as we're still expecting upside in the higher degree, we've got these 3 waves that is in play here. We'll look for this one to continue to the upside. That is chief yen. So any continuation pattern here will be for this one to complete this structure and then upside. CAD yen, finally a pullback. CAD yen, just like pound yen, has been making a parabolic move to the upside. So we're expecting these deeper corrective structures here. We're expecting these deeper corrective structures. Whether this continues here and then only pulls back around these levels, doesn't matter, but we expect a deeper pullback before the next leg higher on CAD yen. Let's just look at the daily here. Still expecting much more upside as well here. Okay, so much more upside on the daily. New Zealand also made 3 waves to the upside. That's what we're expecting. This on the daily now on New Zealand yen. Look at this. We have reached here at around this level. We're expecting a deeper pullback that could come in 3 waves, possibly back to the 38 or 50% of the whole move. Okay, so let's watch these pullbacks. These pullbacks are actually tradable. If you get confirmation, you must just know that this is not going to be, this is not a reversal. This is not doing this. It is a simple pullback where you can trade up until around these levels before the move resumes to the upside. If you get confirmation for that, depending on your strategy, we know how we are going to trade that. Another one, AUD yen on the daily. 3 waves. You can see the structures are all the same in the higher degree. Okay, so I'm showing you the higher degrees because there's really nothing much to look at in the lower degrees because the market has just made these pullbacks. So we'll be watching to see what structures we get here. If you look on AUD yen, we'll be looking for this structure to possibly make a running flat as well. We've broken the top here. We'll be looking for this one to come down. But like I said, a running flat does not give you a warning, so it can turn anywhere from here. But whenever that happens, we should get an indication for a trade setup. Right, so that is AUD yen, gold. Right, let's go to the commodities. Very interesting on the commodities side. Let's have a look at what we are getting here. There are a number of possibilities happening here. So gold, we've been expecting this to reach the blue box last week, which did not happen. And I said here that this, because it did not reach the blue box, can actually make a push back up there. But the structure has changed slightly. Even if we're going to go to the blue box, that is no longer the valid blue box that we've constructed. So the blue box here will be different because the structure has changed as follows. Let's have a look at the structure that could possibly happen here. I'm going to give you a number of alternatives here, 1 or 2 alternatives on gold. So one is that this is a running flat here in the middle. So that means that blue box is no longer valid, and this can actually push back up until around these levels. Okay, another alternative is that we are getting here what looks like a diagonal. If this is a diagonal, we're going to have gold looking like this. So if you look at the waves, internal waves here, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is going for a wave 5. So if this is playing out as a diagonal, that means gold has started a move up higher. We're going to see much more upside, but how will we know that upside is going to come? After the diagonal, remember a diagonal is a wave 1. Okay, it's a leading diagonal. If that is the case, we need to get a pullback in wave 2, something like this. Any corrective structure, can be a zigzag, can be a flat, whichever one. Then if we get this, this will be a setup for upside. We'll start looking for upside. So if it's making a leading diagonal, we will get an opportunity to get onto this trend. Okay, so that is how we're going to know what structure gold is making. For now, it's pushing a little bit higher to around these areas. We'll check when it gets to the upper boundary there. We're not trading trend lines, we're looking at the structures. So we will see what happens with it. So if we just label the internal structure there for completeness sake, 1, 2, 3, let's do this, 3, so you can see the number of waves, 4, this will actually be a 5 here, just to get the degrees right. Let's get this one off here. So the bigger structure here will be the wave 1 here. Whatever corrective structure we get here will be an opportunity for us to get onto the gold trade setup to the upside. Okay, so indications are for upside, and silver is also showing us much more upside as well. So we're going to see upside in the next coming sessions on silver. So we're going to see something like this here. Is it also making a diagonal, a leading diagonal? Silver will push to the upside as well. Possible that it is also making a leading diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we going for a 5? If we are, we're going to see a pullback, and then we're going to see silver resume a move to the upside. Also 1, 2, and then we start seeing another upside here. We're going to have this as 1, 2, lower degree, 3, 4, and a 5. Very interesting developments on the commodities. Let's see how this is going to play out. We're seeing more upside there. All right, so that's what we have on the commodities. Let's have a look at Brent crude. Brent crude has made this deeper correction. Looking at this, it has made a 3-wave structure. Does this mean that this move is complete and we are resuming the move to the upside? I would expect that this actually makes an even deeper corrective structure before we go. Something like a double combination as I've drawn there, like this one as WXY corrective structure, and then upside as follows. 1, 2, 3, and then upside. Can be any corrective structure because we have been on a trend, we've made this significant move to the upside over the last couple of months. Could be this the one? This could be the wave 4 here. This could be the wave 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this wave 4 can do this, as I've indicated, it can make a double if it's too short compared to this. So we can see this one make another leg to the upside. That's how we're going to be tracking this in the lower degree to see when Brent crude resumes the move to the upside. In the higher degree, indications are still for more upside. Okay, guys, if you like what we're doing, please drop us a like, subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification next time we upload a video. And share the videos as well so that more people can watch and get some really good setups here as we are showing you. Pound Chief, expect more upside. Pound Chief is making what looks like a wave 3 as well here. We still expect much more upside here on Pound Chief. This is 1, 2. Currently, we are seeing this as a lower degree 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We are still expecting much more upside here. We're still going to expect this one to give us more upside. So this will be as follows. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is impulsive. So you see, not everything is WX1, not everything is ABC, not everything is 3 waves. We actually do have impulsive moves. So we label what we see on the market. We don't force setups, we don't force structures, because if you force it, you're going to be risking your money. 3, 4. The pullback that we're expecting here is a wave 4 and then upside. So if you see Pound Chief dropping here, expect that after that, it's going to make another leg to the upside. Right. That is Pound Chief. Let's look at it in the lower degree. 4 hour. Is the 4 hour ready for a move to the upside? Looks like we're going to make one more down here. So this looks like it's still going to be a little bit more sideways. This is showing us a bit of downside here. Are we going to go from here, or are we going to get this? This will be a decent one if that happens. 1, 2, 3 here. We get one more down. So that means it goes sideways. If it goes sideways, that means the next leg higher is going to be a strong one. So unlike if it just goes from here, that's not going to be a safe trade setup to look for. So it would be nice if this can overextend, can come back around these levels, about that, and then we look for that structure. Okay, so let's see how that's going to play out on Pound Chief. We're still looking for upside. Pound CAD trade of the week. Expect this. We're going to post this one up on the website as our trade of the week. We're expecting this to continue to the downside. Okay, expect downside. This is our trade of the week on Pound CAD. Look at the daily. Watch Pound CAD. We're looking for Pound CAD to come down to these levels. Right, so that is the structure we are looking at Pound CAD. Why are we looking at it like that? I've shown this structure numerous times. Look at that move to the upside. This is a 3-wave pullback, flat correction. We've looked at this one to come around and break the top here and then come to the downside. So if you have missed the first part of the move, you can get involved here until you get to this level, because that level there is this. That is that level that we're looking at there. All right. I can go through the structure again over and over, but I'm not going to do that now. You can refer to some previous videos where these lines, I've drawn these lines and I've shown the relationship between the whole structure and what we're expecting here. Trade of the week, let's have a look at how that plays out in the next week. If you make some money in the coming week, come and tell us next week on Pound CAD. Right. Audi, Pound Audi. So Pound Audi, let's have a look here in the weekly chart. So you can see where we're going with Pound Audi. Pound Audi, we have been in this corrective structure for a while. I've been expecting this corrective structure to extend to around these levels. But eventually, what are we looking for here? We're looking for this to continue to be downside. I'm on the weekly here, but you cannot wait for, you can see that this took weeks to play out. If you don't know when this is going to drop, you will not know when to trade this. How are you going to know how long you need to wait here? So that's why you need to be able to read the structures from higher degree to the lowest. Are we ready for a move to the downside? Doesn't look like it. but we are still going to see this one make a move out to the downside. We're going to see this and then more upside here. This structure here in the white degree, I should have shown this one in red, so it can be something like this. So we are dropping here. We're going to take this, it looks like we're going to take this low and make another move to the upside. Before we get the drop, we're expecting the drop as you've seen on the weekly. So the trick part here and the challenge for most traders is knowing when to execute. Imagine, let's say you do know the direction in the weekly as I've shown you, and then you come and say here, okay, I've seen Victor analyze and he's saying it's going to go all the way down. Still going to see 1,000 pips to the downside. You come and sell at current levels because you know it's going to go down. And then it starts going up here, 500 pips up. And you cannot hold 500 pips in the negative direction. This is why you need timing, and we need to get entries with less than 50, with a stop loss of between about 50 to 100 pips. Okay, for 1,000 pips, a decent stop of 50 to 100 pips is good enough. But you cannot just come here and say, because it's on the weekly, it's coming down, and you will see that eventually it will go down, but you will not have made money out of it. And that is the challenge. That's why where the indicator comes in to help us with execution. Right. Pound New Zealand. Let's have a look at Pound New Zealand here. 1, 2, 3. 1. Look at this one here. We're going to see this one come down here. So we've got to move down in 3 waves, move up in 3. We're expecting this to continue to the downside. Is it going to go all the way, or is this going to give us one more up before we come down? Just like Pound Audi, this is also looking downside in the higher degree. Let's look at the euros. Right, are we getting our bounce now? Looks like we're going to get our bounce on euro pound here. As expected, we're looking for this one to come and take the top. You can see the structure is similar to what you've seen on US dollar ZAR. We'll be expecting this one to make a bit of a push to the upside and then eventually downside. Euro Audi. Euro Audi still continues to the downside. Structure is still showing us much more downside. We may see this make one more down here to come take this low again and then bounce for this move and then downside like this. Okay, so this is exactly similar to what we're seeing on euro pound as well. So similar structure here, similar structure as you can see. So we're expecting that bounce on the euro as well. Is it gonna, or has this now resumed a move to the upside? Are we gonna see this one come around these levels? Doesn't look likely. It looks like we're gonna see one more down first before we get the bounce. If you look at US dollar ZAR, we've shown exactly the same thing and it has happened. Even when we were gonna get that bounce, it didn't look like you would. Look at what happened here with US dollar ZAR. We got to this level. So from when we were at the top here, we've been saying at this level here, we're gonna get a bounce. It comes here, it bounces, it comes down here. Goes up, it comes down here, and then you're thinking, okay, this is a corrective structure, it's going to go all the way to the downside. Look what happens. That bounce that you've been expecting actually does happen. So even with Euro Audi and Euro Pound, we're expecting that we're going to get a similar structure. You can see it's exactly the same structure on Pound Audi, is it Pound Audi on Euro Audi, as well as Pound, Euro Pound rather. Euro New Zealand, the same. Let's have a look at Euro New Zealand. Now the expectation here with the Euro New Zealand is that we've got a move to the upside. We've got this 1, 2, 3 here with this flat correction in the middle. I'm expecting one more down here. It is very tempting to see this one as breaking out here and making a move to the upside from current levels. So if you're just trading the trend lines, you would think, okay, we're going to break out of this structure. We're going to see this. It's a possibility. It's actually a possible structure. If you look at this like as follows, and you have this 1, 2, 3. This can actually make a push to the upside. We need to see that correct and give us the continuation pattern for upside. But I'm seeing this structure here. I'm seeing this flat and I'm seeing this move. If we're going to get a bounce, it should come here at lower levels. So let's watch it. Wait for confirmation. EURCAD. EURCAD, we're going to see more downside on EURCAD. You know, we've been saying the same thing about EURCAD, about coming down here from when this was happening here. Let's go to the weekly again. So EURCAD as well, we're looking at this. We may get these to get around these levels. We may retest this level here, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. We are still continuing to the downside. We may see one more up around this level. So just look for continuation patterns. As you can see, you've got one right now on the 4 hours. So look for that to continue to the downside. Very risky to be selling it after these significant moves, because you may get this entry, drops with divergence on the RSI and then makes a bounce. Let me show you the RSI. So you can see the RSI. This is not the indicator that we use, by the way. I'm just showing you how this works. So you may find that this actually drops because this actually drops and you get the RSI showing you divergence. See, we're getting divergence here. So if that is the case, you find that the RSI does this drop with the move here, but this makes a new low. This does not make a new lower low. And it actually makes a divergence as follows. So the RSI actually diverts and makes what's an opposite move to the price. Comes down and then actually drops. Even if you've got this continuation pattern, okay, so that is a possibility, but that does not mean that it's a reversal. It just means it's a deeper corrective structure that's giving you another opportunity for more downside. That's why I'm saying it is risky. They can give you a short squeeze here with the move here before coming to the downside. And you can see, everybody can see the trend. Everybody will be wanting to sell here, but they want to squeeze out some weekends here with a move to the upside before coming down. EUROCHF. What are we getting with EUROCHF? EUROCHF looks like it's still going sideways, another running flat around these levels. So we'll look for this to be 3 waves down and another 3 waves to the downside. That is EUROCHF. Let's go to the crosses. Audi New Zealand, we've tagged this top here. We are looking for this structure. Look for Audi New Zealand to come and retest this level. What are we looking for? We're looking for this structure, move here, and then retest the move there. And this is also one of those complex structures. 1, 2, we're going to expect this one to continue to the upside. For now, let's just watch this coming down here with this ABC corrective structure here. So we'll be looking for these entries for downside. So look for entries for downside here to come around these levels. That is Audi New Zealand, AUDCAD. AUDCAD, we've made a bit of a bounce here. We are going sideways. Are we going to see this one make a move to the upside? Let's watch that. We're going to see this one make a move to the upside. At least back to the 50% here. Let's see how that goes. So with the oil correcting deeply, and we've got a CAD here, that is why we may see that bounce. So AUDCAD should correct in the opposite direction of oil before any move to the downside. AUDCHF. AUDCHF, we have got this corrective structure here. It's a move down here, it's a move up. Similarly, we're going to be expecting this one to come and retest this level. As you can see, this is going sideways. It's a move up, correction, move up. We'll be looking for this. 1, 2, 3. Looks easy when I'm doing it, but we also have to measure and use the fibs to get the exact levels here. Right, so let's have a look here. You'll be looking for this to continue to the downside here, at least for a short move to around these levels. That is AUDCHF, New Zealand CAD. Looking at New Zealand CAD, expect continuation to the downside. But after that, you need to get a bounce here and continuation to the downside. So let's wait for this bounce here on New Zealand CAD. So it's also supported by the fact that oil is correcting deeply. So let's see how that's going to play out. New Zealand CHF going sideways, not a clear structure. So what we have so far is that we've got this move to the downside. It looks like we've got this as a corrective structure. You can see this one coming down here, coming down there. So this is a continuation pattern. So we should see this one coming down, pull back up. We'll see this one come down and then upside as follows. It will be a WXY corrective structure. WX, not like that, WXY. Before we get this whole thing doing that. Okay, so that is New Zealand. Look for one more down. CADJPY. So look at CADJPY. Right, we got, right, so let's continue there with CADJPY. So CADJPY, we are getting a bit of a pullback here, and that is what we want with CADJPY. So CADJPY, just like oil, has made a parabolic move to the upside. So it has been difficult to get an entry on CADJPY. So we want to get a deeper corrective structure. So if oil is going to make a deeper corrective structure, CADJPY is going to do the same. Remember CADJPY. Remember CADJPY is, look, it looks like this. Looks like this. We are looking for upside to at least these levels. Okay, so we'll be looking for CADJPY to get to around these levels. Pull back and then upside up to these levels. So keep an eye on that. Let's look at the indices. Right, so let's go to the website here and give you the structure. So I want to show you why I have been saying just look for continuation patterns on the indices. Let's have a look here. So let me show you the charts that we've got on the site so you can see where this comes from. Let's look at the indices. So this is the reason why I'm showing you the daily here on the S&P 500. Those who've been, this is actually a chart from January. Where are we now? This was 1382 on the S&P 500. We've been saying that this is going to go all the way to the upside. Yes, currently we've made a bit of a move to about 1390. This is where we are. Okay, this move is obviously exaggerated, but we will be counting the number of waves here. That's what we are doing. So at the moment, whenever we get a continuation pattern, we are just buying this because we have not seen any indication of a reversal since January. And this has not only been since January. If you watch previous videos from when we were here, just go and check where this date is here. And maybe we'll watch a video a week prior to this. You'll see that we're focused that we are going to get a wave 5 here. So since the beginning of the year, December last year, we have been just saying one thing on the indices, and that is every time you get a continuation pattern to the upside, you take it, whether it's at the 4 or the 1 hour, you just buy. That's where that comes from. That is still the case. That is still intact. We are still looking for continuation patterns to the upside. So we're still looking for this to the upside here. So still more upside on the S&P 500. Let me show you the 1 hour here. So on the 1 hour, we're looking at this as a pullback, and we're looking for this to continue to the upside. We need to use the yellow color. The yellow color is clearer, I think. Expanding flat and then more upside. I'm drawing a screw. 1, 2, 3, like that. That is the S&P 500. Next one is the NASDAQ. And let's go to the Dow first. Dow Jones, this is the industrial. As you can see, this is also from, okay, this is the latest update actually on the Dow. So we're looking for this one to continue to the upside. But again, all of these moves, we forecasted these moves in December last year. That's why we have been looking for just continuation patterns. Even when this was happening here, we did say that this is going to continue to the upside. Even here, this was making 3-wave corrective structure. We're still expecting the same thing so that we can get the number of waves here as 5. That is S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Next one is the NASDAQ. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. Can you see here on the daily, the NASDAQ also, we got the NASDAQ here last year in December. Where are we now? Let's show you the structure. Look at the blue primary degree. So if you look at the number of waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for this to be a 5. So if you look in the lower degree here, you will see that we've made 1, we've made 2. That's what we saw in December last year. And this is why this is playing out. This is why the NASDAQ is doing this. All right. That is the NASDAQ. When is this chart? Again, you can see that this chart was also done on the 9th of January. Let's just check the date here. 9 January, beginning of the year. And where is the NASDAQ now? It has been pushing up higher. So there's no analysis here. I'm just showing you why we have been saying indices are going to push up higher. UK 100, the same thing, but let's show you the UK 100 here. The UK 100 structure is a bit different to what we focused it. I'll show you both. So let's just go back to the chart here on the UK 100. So the UK 100, this was the expectation that it's going to make a this one, this corrective structure here, and make a move to the upside. What has happened actually is that we've now made 1, 2. This is actually the latest chart, so we could be going for another move to the upside. Here's another possibility. Look at the blue W there. It has got 3 waves in red. 1, 2, 3. Here we've got 3 waves in the yellow. I should actually show this one here in yellow. Let's do this. Let's go a bit more detail on this on the UK 100. We've got 1, 2, 3 in the blue degree. 1, 2, 3 in the blue degree. So we're expecting another 1, 2, 3. But this B correction here may not be over. It may play out as follows. 1, 2, 3 makes a flat before we actually make a move to the upside. So we will be mindful of that fact as we're tracking the UK 100. Okay, so keep an eye on that. So this is the latest update on the chart. It's the 20th of March. So this was done over the weekend. So we'll be looking for, there's a possibility for this first before we go. So the one that we're focusing here may not have started yet. So watch for both possibilities. That is the UK 100, the DAX. Let's go back to the charts here on the DAX 4 hour. This is the latest update of the DAX. So we've been looking for this to do that and push up higher. So we are currently in wave 3 on the DAX. Very interesting structure. So look for continuation patterns to the upside. You have seen over the last couple of weeks when we were here, we expected this to continue to the upside. So this was the expanding flat. When we were here, we saw this, we saw this, we saw this. Now, any continuation pattern here, look for upside. This is on the daily, by the way, so you can have closer entries with tighter stops in the lower degrees. That is the DAX, still continuation to the upside. And the Nikkei, let's have a look here. I'm still on the daily. So the Nikkei could be making a flat here before we get the next leg higher. Look for the next leg higher on the Nikkei. And finally, the Nifty, which is not listed on the website, but we do analyze it. You can see it has made the structure that I'm expecting on the Nikkei. So this is the Nifty. This is a continuation pattern. We expect another leg up higher. That's all for today, guys. So those that are interested in the crypto webinar, you can stay on in the next 5 minutes. We'll be starting with the crypto webinar. Please hit that notification button, subscribe, and drop us a like so that you can get a notification and an alert next time we upload the video as well. Cheers, everybody. Have a great week. Trade responsibly. Bye-bye.